Since the dark winter of 1913, when a cabal of financial oligarchs orchestrated a legislative coup under the guise of the Federal Reserve Act, our nation's monetary sovereignty has been systematically dismantled. This act, a betrayal of constitutional principles, was the beginning of a century-long scam. The power to create money and credit, explicitly granted to Congress by Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, was usurped by a private banking cartel deceitfully named the Federal Reserve. Let's be brutally clear. The Federal Reserve is neither federal nor does it have any reserves. It is a private institution controlled by a select group of already uber-wealthy central banking families, most of whom aren't even American. They exert almost total control over our nation's financial destiny. They do not lend money in any traditional sense. They conjure it from thin air, backed by nothing but the lies that are set out as ledger entries on bank computers. When the U.S. government requires funds, it borrows from this entity, receiving nothing but digital numbers in return. In exchange, it issues Treasury Bonds, which the Federal Reserve then buys with this newly fabricated money. Yet for this act of sleight of hand, the American taxpayer is charged an interest rate, currently around 6%, on loans that required no real transfer of value. Even the physical cash, which is a rarity in this digital age, comes with a printing cost that we, the American people, must bear. This system is not just an economic perversion, it's a profound democratic betrayal. Politicians have learned a dangerous trick. Instead of raising taxes, which would require the consent of the governed, they simply borrow against the people's credit card. This borrowing funds an ever-expanding government, one we've never explicitly agreed to through our votes. It's a method to circumvent the democratic process, allowing for the growth of government without the necessary fiscal responsibility or public oversight. The implications of this fraudulent system are catastrophic. Economic slavery. With the U.S., now the world's largest debtor nation, having transitioned from a creditor under Reagan to this unenviable status, we've amassed a debt that, when including future obligations, exceeds $300 trillion. This debt is not just a number. It's a chain around the necks of future generations, an act of indentured servitude, if not outright slavery, for they are bound to pay back money that was never truly lent. Loss of liberty. The money created from nothing is often used to undermine our freedoms. It fuels policies and programs that serve the interests of the ruling class, further centralizing power and wealth, eroding the middle class, and diminishing personal liberty. Inflation and wealth transfer. The continuous printing of money dilutes its value, leading to inflation. This inflation is a silent tax, eroding savings and wages, while simultaneously transferring wealth to those who control the money supply. Democratic erosion. By bypassing the need for tax increases, which would provoke public debate and potential revolt, this system allows for uncontrolled government expansion without the consent of the governed. It is fundamentally undemocratic. We stand now at a precipice, teetering between economic collapse and the loss of our liberties. The Federal Reserve, with its fraudulent machinations, has been the architect of this disaster. It has fostered a culture of debt, where the American people are unwitting slaves to a system designed to benefit a select few at the expense of the many. The time has come for a profound reflection on how we've allowed our financial sovereignty to be handed over to private interests. It's time to dismantle this century-old fraud, to reclaim the constitutional right of Congress to coin money, and to ensure that our economic policies serve the public interest, not just the interest of those who control the money supply. Only then can we hope to restore true democracy, economic stability, and freedom to our nation.